when you get back to the organic feminine, right? And you are so fully moving within your own pleasure and circular movement, it will ripple and spiral out into every single aspect of your life. From raising children to getting married to having a relationship with your parent, everything. I became a better mother. I became a better friend. I became a better human being when I was able to cultivate my feminine to be as strong as my masculine.
Can't be contained. That's what I'm talking about. Sheila Kelley, welcome to the Can't Be Contained podcast. I'm so grateful that you are here.
I'm jazzed. I'm drippingly jazzed.
I was reminding you that the first time I experienced your work and you and everything that you bring to the world was in Maui with Tony Robbins. I mean, he wasn't in the room. That would be really fucking weird. But we were in a ballroom with a bunch of women in the Tony Robbins mastermind rolling around on the floor in these like sexy heels. And I'm like, God, there was this like, I can't even explain it. It's like this, it's like this unlock of just like so much freaking energy from tapping into my femininity and owning my pleasure and doing it in a way where I really got to do it in my own way. And I really got to find like I think sometimes when it comes to like sexuality or like being sexy in the bedroom, it's like we see movies and it's like, that's the way it is. Like I have to do it like this and I have to be it like, yeah. And what I learned and what I loved with your work is really finding your own, do you call it archetype or like your own like
finding your own erotic energy, your own erotic creature. Who are you? Who are you? How do you want to be loved? How does your body desire love? How does she move in and out of love? How does she move towards love? How does she desire not just what kind of love she wants, but how does she want to give love? How does she want to give pleasure? How does she want to receive pleasure? We never even ask ourselves these questions. And so when you really just shut up the chatter up here and really respect the intelligence and the wisdom and the brilliance of the body and all the stories the body has to tell you and all of her whole journey through life, she's a treasure trove. She is the treasure trove that everyone's looking for, but they're looking out there. They think it's a man or a kid or a job or a career or something. But really the treasure trove is in here because the feminine is so intricate and so deep and so complex. And there's, like you experienced, there's these 10 erotic icons. And there's also these 10 everyday essences. And they dance through your body and communicate out in the world without your cognitive mind even knowing. And that's what you experienced.
Yeah.
You experienced letting that cognitive mind lead and letting your body just break free.
Yeah.
Like, wow. And the feminine, when she's free, she's an expander. She's a vortex, right? She's a magnetic vortex of life. She swirls and she grows and she grows and she expands until she becomes her own galaxy.
Yeah.
And that vortex of energy, that vortex sucks life to you. It sucks love to you. It brings pleasure to you. It brings everything that you're hunting for out here. It effortlessly pulls towards you.
I think that's one of the coolest concepts that we can learn and embody and really understand is this whole idea of like whatever that external thing is that our mind has convinced us that we need to have in order to feel a certain way, we actually have the essence of that energy inside of us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And through like, talk to us a little bit about, because when it comes to like manifestation or it comes to, creating our own reality, I don't think often people associate that with opening up the sexual sensual portal in order to do that. You know, it's kind of like we're like shut off from that and we're like, let's like visualize it from sort of, it's more like heady and up, like in the stars versus like that, like deep. So can you like make the link between manifestation and sexuality, sensuality, and how we can really begin to like unlock those energies in our system?
First of all, kudos. I'm so happy to hear you verbalize what you just verbalized, because we're so trapped up here. We're trapped in this idea of what we want, these thoughts, these things, instead of trusting the bloodhound of the body.
Bloodhound of the body. Okay.
Think about that. Your body's an animal, and she's terrestrial. She's earthly. She knows how to make her way in abundance on this planet. You know, if you let her feel something, a scent, a smell, a taste, a texture, that I swear sometimes, so I'm going to try not to swear. That body of yours is so powerful. That primal animal energy of eroticism, sexuality, sensuality, whatever you want to call it, all of the elements of the animal of the body. You can't keep that animal from finding what she wants, from calling in what she desires through scent, smell, taste, touch, texture, sound, all of it from erotic turn on. That energy, these are the most powerful energies in the body, emotional energy and erotic energy. And those are the energies that S factor taps you into and then expands you out into, so that you just can't help but be a queen.
Yeah. And there's this learning that I had, the experience that I had of being there in Maui in one of your classes was, so my background is I was a dancer. So it's very like I get on a stage, I become a character, I perform, and then I get off the stage. And so when I was doing your stuff, I had to keep reminding myself, like, you're not performing, like, you're just moving for you. And that was a revolutionary concept for me, because I had to let go of the idea that I'm doing this for someone else. And even with my husband now, removing any sort of performative, I'm going to do this because it's like not fulfilling for me. Right? And so your body of work, like S Factor, helped me rewire it. What would you name that? Like, if performative is on one side of the scale, what would you name how you teach women to get into their bodies?
I would call it organic. I would call it organic, idiosyncratic movement. I would call it body-led movement. And
There you go.
I teach a thing called brain immersion. And it's how you take the chatter and you spiral the chatter into seeking pleasure in the body, seeking moments in the body, seeking, a touch of my hand along my cheek, and focusing on how many of the small hairs can I count? How much can I feel? How many nerve endings can I turn on? I can't think about anything else. I can't think about all the to-do lists and all the chatter and all the bullshit, because I'm so deeply immersed in just my cheekbone right now. My cheekbones. And oh my God, my nose. And I'm so deeply into my sensual moment of pleasure. I might even snap and slap, does my head, I like that firm. I like that firm. So I'm testing constantly. What does my body need? What does my body want? What does my body yearn for? Because my body is my oracle. Hear me now. Hear me now. Oracle, the wise woman, the one who knows. She knows. She knows how to do all this. She knows when she's lying. She knows when you're living a lie in your life, and she's going to not shut up about it until you stop living the lie. You're going to a 9-to-5 job every friggin' day, and you're clocking in, clocking out, and you're getting quieter and quieter and dimmer, and your light is your body saying, get me out of here. I am a wild creature. I'm a freak. Let me be free. Let me be wild. Let me be beautiful. Let me be radiant. Let me go.
Oh, it's so fascinating to really like be attuned to the nuances of what the body's doing. And it's like, it's this, like when the world is quiet, when the mind is quiet, the voice of the body is so loud. And for me, it's like such a choice to go there. Like every single time I go there, the ROI of getting in my body is just so crazy infinite.
Okay, right? Because nothing else matters.
Nothing else matters. And it's like every answer I'm trying to find outside is literally in my vagina.
It's literally, sometimes it's in my nipples. Sometimes it's in my neck. Here it is. You're right. It's all of it. It's all, your entire body could be a walking clitoris.
Yeah.
Like every
Yes.
single nerve ending turned on, like
Yes.
everything is pleasure, everything is, and that is the feminine. The feminine
Mhm.
is pleasure.
Yeah.
She comes on this earth seeking pleasure and being pleasure. She's
Yeah.
pleasure to the infant that she holds to her chest. She's
Yeah.
pleasure to her lover. She's pleasure to her parents that she nurses as they get old. She's pleasure when she
Oh,
meets the cat and the dog and the
yeah.
animal. She is, look, think about friggin' all the fables. Think about Snow White. Snow White was
Yeah.
just pleasure. And she
Mm.
knows the whole world. And that
Mhm.
is the feminine. Those fables come from somewhere. And it comes from the organic stories that have been passed down from ages and ages, that the feminine is life
Yeah.
and the
Yeah.
masculine is the servant of life.
So
And the
why do we avoid it as women? Why, if we know this, why are we not doing this? If we know we have this wealth of love and resource and pleasure and fulfillment, like everything we desire is inside, why do we still live like we've got dicks and we're super heady? Like, why?
because we don't know.
Okay.
We don't know. And it's really, really hard. It's the I hate to go here, but I'm going to go here. It's the matrix. We're in a matrix. We're in a box. We're told to get in that box very,
Yeah.
very young. We're told that our body is dangerous. Our body is dirty. Our body is bad. Our sexuality is bad. Don't move like that. Don't dress like that. Don't talk like that. Only bad girls do that. You're a good girl. It is hammered into our beings.
Yeah.
So we step into this box to be accepted and to be loved. And at some point, I don't care if you're 90 years old, you want to get out of that friggin' box. You want to get out of that box so you can breathe again. So you can truly have lived. You can truly say at the end of your life, I have lived so fully through this body. I
Yeah.
have swirled and twirled and reached, danced and sang and played. And I don't know, women, what I have found, because I'm 25 years in teaching this, what I've found is that this is terrifying.
Yeah.
It's terrifying to women to really say, am I all that? Am I really that amazing? Yeah.
Yeah, you are.
Yeah, you
Yeah,
are.
you are.
I want to talk to you about that performance thing because that's
Yeah.
huge, Samantha. What you conquered there is huge. You went from being a trained animal to being a wild animal.
That's it. Oh my God. Yes.
Yeah. Because a trained animal, like you can get a great trained German Shepherd and he's going to sit, he's going to lay, and he's going to run, he's going to fetch, he's going to be so obedient.
Yeah.
But his body's tense and tight.
Yeah.
But
Yes.
you look at a wild wolf hunting out in the wild with his pack, her pack. There's nothing more beautiful. There's nothing more beautiful free than the free animal, the free feminine. So, it's complex. It's complex. It's complex because you have to unravel all the shame.
That's it. For me, it was I had to unravel the shame and I had to actually trust the intelligence that was arising in my body and follow it moment by moment without knowing where the freak it was going. And so it was a unraveling this societal shame around I shouldn't be like this. I shouldn't move like this. I shouldn't express like this. So there was a deconstruction of the shame.
Yes.
And then there was a what the hell is this energy arising in my system? And it was like this relationship where I could feel the power. I'm like, freak, this is powerful. And following it was a little bit scary, but little by little, moment by moment, I was kind of like my human was like dancing with the essence. And then the essence was like teaching my human it's okay. And it felt like this like thing. I don't know if that makes sense, but
Your animal and your human were talking. I love it.
Yeah.
And it's going to be amazing. It's an amazing moment when I watch a woman when I teach, and I've been teaching for 25 years, as I said, and I've touched and tens of thousands of women. And watching that moment that you described, that moment of like trepidation, like I'm nervous, I'm tense, I can't move like that. That's dirty. That's pornographic. Instead of seeing those old stories that have been hammered into you and being able to release it all and look at the organic indigenous shape of your body as she moves circularly and she moves sensually and she moves through stretching and twisting and turning and breathing deeply and self-touch And you start to worship yourself. You start to love this body so deeply and so profoundly that this body she becomes so much more enlivened because we've had to shut down so much of our life force. Not be too slutty, or not to be too provocative, not be too bad girly, right?
Yeah.
But what we do is we quiet ourselves. So really, it's a jailbreak.
Yeah.
Get
Yes.
out of that
Yes.
box. It's like, get free. And that's my number one value in life. I was doing a value thing, and I was like, that number one is freedom.
Freedom.
I
Yeah,
want to be
baby.
free. I don't want to live by other people's rules. I don't want to do choreography.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And as a trained contemporary artist, choreography was like, and it's a 1, 2, 3, and 4, and everything had to be precise.
Yep.
You know, and it's like, well, my body
Counting,
doesn't.
right? You're
Yeah,
counting.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you're in this.
Box structure. It's rigid. Yeah, it's rigid. And I remember this again being at this S Factor workshop with at the Tony Robbins Platinum Partnership. You and your team were putting on music, and you're like, just feel like, how does your body want to like move to this? And how does it want to? And at first, my trained mind was like counting it like 5, 6, 7. And I'm like, oh, this shape and this architecture would look really cool. And then I'm like, no, Sam, just drop the structure. And then I just finally got to like just feel what my body wanted to do in that, in that environment with that music, and it was just so fascinating. Like, it moved completely differently than I would have if I was performing. Yeah. Yeah. And so what's been fascinating for me, okay, so that was a really pivotal time in my life. It was 20, I think it was 2018. I'm pretty sure that's when that was. Yeah. With Allison Armstrong and everyone. It was so fun. That was such a fun week.
You know what? I think it was the 19th.
Was it 19? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So that was like such a pivotal time in my life because I was really coming into my sexuality, coming into my essence. And
Yeah.
simultaneously to that, I was so committed to dropping the structures and the masculine hustle and force in my business. So, and those two things, of course, are so related. And the question that I was in was, can I still run a profitable, successful, beautiful, mission-based business with putting my creativity, my pleasure, my heart first, and dropping the rigidity and the structure of the distorted masculine, which so much of business is run in. And so moving through my body and like learning this, wild animal and how it showed up in the bedroom and how it showed up like in my kitchen as I was moving. What if I was to take just a little bit of that and put it in my business?
Ooh.
And what would that look like? Let's just take like a teaspoon. What does that look like? And so year after year, I've been experimenting of letting this energy lead more so than anything else. And wow. Oh, feminine leadership is different than masculine. Like, and I really believe, I really, really, really believe that playful heart-centered leadership is the new way, and it has such an impact on culture and creates so much psychological safety in team members that things just thrive and flourish and move because people are feeling nurtured. When we feel nurtured, we want to grow. That's how that's how it naturally happens. And so
Yeah.
I became really obsessed after like finding, your work of like, where else can I add this in?
Yes. Yeah. Everywhere.
Everywhere.
Everywhere. It's a lifestyle. It's not even I teach it from the body out. But once you get the body moving and free and undulating, because, the feminine body is designed differently than the masculine body. It just is. We have a different bone structure. We have different shape. We have different ligament attachments. We are just different beings. And when you really, because we've been told to move like men all our lives, most of us.
Mhm,
And because
mhm,
our indigenous movement, our organic movement
mm.
disturbs men, it disturbs the
Yeah.
masculine. They can't focus on anything else when they see a beautiful feminine body moving, right?
Mhm,
So we've
mhm.
been shamed out of it. But when you get back to the organic feminine, right? And you are so fully moving within your own pleasure and
Mm,
circular movement, it will ripple and spiral out
mhm.
into every single aspect of your life. From raising children to getting married to having a relationship with your parent, everything. I became a better mother. I became a
Mm,
better friend. I became a
mhm.
better human being when
Yeah.
I was able to cultivate my feminine to be as strong as my masculine.
Mhm.
And you talk about feminine and masculine business. To me, what I teach ultimately is resuscitate the feminine and
Yeah,
then learn how they work beautifully together. You can braid masculine
yeah.
and feminine energy together to be so complementary because if the feminine is all movement and all emotion and all quality of sensuality, the masculine
Mm.
is the conduit, is the shape, is the container, right? Is the
Yeah.
container. So the masculine is quantity and the feminine fills that quantity with
Mm,
quality,
mm,
right?
mm,
So we
mhm.
all need structure in our lives, many of us, but we
Yeah,
also want to fill it with the why. I think the feminine is the why we work so fucking hard
yeah.
so that I could smell the flowers, so
Yes,
I could taste the
yes.
nature, so I could feel, so I can
Mhm,
really feel like I've
mm,
lived fully.
Oh, that's so good.
Mm,
That's so good. Yeah, it's like
yeah.
our souls come to the planet to experience, right? We're in these like bodies to experience the taste of chocolate, the smell of
And
lavender, the feeling of getting into a bath, the like
yes,
the candle flickering.
the
And it's like,
Kansas.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah, there's
the
like this
touch of love, the
deliciousness.
kiss of the nuzzle of your lover on your neck. I could live in that moment. I don't have to go anywhere else. I don't need to get anywhere. I want to
Yeah.
be in the moment of the
Mm,
journey, right?
yeah.
So
I
true.
love that you said resuscitate the feminine. So good. I love your I'm just obsessed with words. I just love that choice of words.
Oh my God. Well, there you go. It's true. I mean, I'm,
Mm.
as you can tell, very passionate about this. And I've seen a lot in 25 years.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot.
Yeah.
And I see this big chasm, this gulf
Yeah.
that women are so scared to cross because
Mhm.
over here is a normalcy where I work my 9 to 5 and I get dimmer and dimmer. Or I try and mini man up as best I can. And then
Yeah.
over here is like nirvana, is
Mm.
like beauty and dance and quality and love
Mm.
and wealth and abundance is all
Yeah.
here. But
Yeah.
getting women to cross that chasm has proven to be a very interesting journey to understand the psychology of the feminine.
So if we were to chunk it down and provide a couple tangible examples of how for the woman listening right now who is feeling that caged in more hyper masculine way of being, what are some little ways that she can begin to resuscitate her feminine?
I'm going to give you just the simplest little thing, which is a brain massage.
Mm,
So just taking your two hands and just starting at the back of your neck and just combing up like this and just coming, whether you have hair or not, just coming up the back and then squeezing. And so I'm pushing up and then I'm squeezing. And the only thing I'm focused on here is to touch as many nerve
mm,
endings as I can in my scalp. So I am now halfway up and I'm squeezing. And now I've got my head is part now my head's like, oh, I'm being petted.
mm,
And so all I'm thinking about, Samantha, all I've got in my head is pleasure hunting.
mm,
How many nerve endings can I get? What kind of, oh, now I'm scratching up through the top of my head. Oh, I'm doing a really, really deep touch here at the top of my head. Oh, and that feels so good. And now I'm running my hands up in through my ears. So this is called brain massage, where you just want
mm,
to take your thumbs, take your
mm,
fingers, and let them begin to bring pleasure up to your scalp, where every single nerve ending in your body ends up here in your scalp, right? Oh my God. So here I am, and I'm coming up towards my forehead, and I'm messing my hair up, and I don't care.
It's giving me some volume. I love it.
And I'm coming to my forehead now, and I'm going to just really find pleasure here. And I'm going to just dig. My body and my scalp really want deep, deep touch to it, not light touch, deep touch.
Mm.
So here we go. We've just finished a brain massage. I'm coming down on my jaw, and I didn't really end. I'm always, if you're with me anywhere in the world, you'll always find me touching
Mm-hmm.
and holding my body in some way. So the other thing I'm going to ask you to do right now is I want you to remember a time when somebody in your life, someone who loved you and took care of you, could be a mother, a father, a grandmother, an aunt, a sister, a teacher, someone who loved you, touched you safely somewhere to make you feel secure. Allow your right or left hand to go to that spot. Where did someone who took care of you and loved you very much touch you to reassure you, to make you feel solid? Now let your hand go to that spot right now. Here's the beauty. Your body never forgets anything. She's an elephant. So even though you may not know who it was or what the intention was or what day it was, that feeling is a feeling of love and being protected, being touched in a safe, guardian way. So right now, my hand is on my left shoulder, like the little divot between my chest and my shoulder here. And when I put my hand here, my mother used to pull me close to her and wrap her hand and hold me right there. It made me feel so loved and so safe and so secure. So just breathe into that spot. And I call that spot your anchor spot. So just rub it, just touch it, and let the memories come when they come. Let the feeling permeate you of feeling safe and guarded and loved. This is one of the first exercises I do in my digital online course called Strip Down, Rise Up. Rise. And the reason I do this is because the body knows everything. And when a woman is feeling safe, she goes immediately into the parasympathetic state of rest and digest, pleasure seeking, of expansion, as opposed to contraction and fear. So always, you can take both of these exercises with you. Take the scalp massage, the brain massage with you, and do it every friggin' day. You can do it standing in line at the post office.
Oh,
You can do it in your car. And then take the anchor spot anytime kind of nefarious feelings come, or just you don't feel so centered, or you're not feeling your body. Just put your hand on your anchor spot. And the only thing you need to think about is just the warmth of your hand on that spot. And it will remind your body of the time someone who protected you and loved you touched you to make you feel safe. Yeah. And these are exercises I like to do even before I go into the more feminine movement or sensuality. I want to anchor women. I want to anchor them. I want to give them permission for the brain massage pleasure. And then I want to anchor them and give them the power so that they know they have the power to create safety in their body. And from there, we can take this epic journey towards the holy grail of recovery.
oh, so good. Oh, so good. It's just wild that our bodies have the capacity to like grow humans, and we trust that process. And then sometimes we struggle with listening to our intuition or trusting our body knows best. It's like your body can grow a human. So wise. And what I have found to be so interesting is just really being attuned to the language the body uses to communicate to us. So can you talk a little bit about that? Because I think for, again, for the classic, very intelligent, heady woman who thinks, and it has a little bit more of like the hypervigilance, how we can begin to like listen to this language that is a little bit more esoteric in nature.
Mm, mm. Wow, that's a really, really sophisticated endeavor because there's just, man, in this day and age, right here and now, we are being assaulted.
Mm,
We are being assaulted out here in the world by attention seekers. We
mm,
live in an attention economy. Everybody wants your
mhm.
attention out here. So there's so much
Yeah,
noise.
yeah,
And then that creates all this chatter and noise in here. I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to take him there. I got to pick up my kid here. I got to get my mother this. I got to get the dog food.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, yeah.
So the first thing you got to do is you've got to insist upon stillness.
Mm,
You have to insist upon moments of being privately in your body, but with yourself, with your anchor spot, with breath,
mhm.
with pleasure. So there's this theory that I focus on when I teach, and it's called the motivational triangle. Have you ever heard of that?
No.
So the motivational triangle is a theory that pertains to all mammals, right?
Mhm.
And all mammals avoid pain, seek pleasure, and conserve energy.
Mm, mm,
When you live in the truth of how the animal focuses and functions that way, when you're able to slow down and
love
not let
that.
the cacophony move you, not let the cacophony take you away on the rapids of life,
Mm,
right? You get off on the side and you become the center of the universe, not all the noise.
mm.
Right now, all the noise is trying to create FOMO and buy this, buy that, buy this, buy that. And it's
Yeah.
like, come on. So you need to get off of that river and you need to
Mm,
sit in breath, in touch, in pleasure. And you're going to begin to hear things from your
mhm,
body. You're going to begin to, you'll walk out the door of your house and you're going to have this feeling like, oh, something's wrong. And in the past, with all the chaos, you're going to just go, never mind, and
yeah,
go. You're going to
yeah,
realize later that you left the oven on.
yeah.
But when you quiet all the noise and you walk outside and you say something's wrong, you're not going to ignore it anymore. You're going to
Mm,
go, oh, something's wrong. So let me go back in the house and let my
mhm,
body sniff it out.
mhm,
Let my body
mhm,
feel it out. Did I leave
mhm,
something? Because
mhm.
I cannot tell you, having done this 25 years, my body is so loud now. It's so
Oh,
clear and I'm so obedient to her.
obedience.
I'm
Mm,
obedient to my body where I
yeah,
used to make my body obedient to me. Now I'm like, oh, you tell me,
you
girl.
run the show.
You
Yeah,
run the show. Oh,
yeah.
Yoda Sheila. Sheila Yoda. She's my Yoda, man. She tells me
I
where the
love that.
That's true. She's like, she
Yeah,
tells me where my force is. She tells me where my
yeah.
energetic power is. When you shut all the
Mm,
noise down and
mm,
you go so deep in here, you're going to find that you have more energetic power than you've ever imagined. You're going to understand why people call women witches, why people call women psychic.
mhm,
We're not freaks and we're not psychics and we're not witches. We're women.
mhm,
And
mhm.
women have hypersensitivity,
Yeah.
hyper awareness. We have so much embodied energy that we can feel energy from others. So you're going to be able to cultivate that in your
Mhm,
body when you get rid of all the noise,
mm,
come into the pleasure, do the brain massage, do the anchor spot,
mm.
breathe for, I just take 5 fucking minutes.
Yeah.
Just give her 5 minutes to start to speak to you.
Mm. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. So
It's
it's
so
like the
powerful.
decision. There gets to be this decision to unhook from the matrix, shut down the noise, which takes discipline, you know, in your to use your words in our intention economy. It's so true. It's like everything is fighting for our life force 24/7, and our life force is the most expensive and valuable thing that we have. Oh, if people just got that, it's like your life force is worth millions every
Millions,
second,
millions.
every second.
Yeah, the feminine is the most valuable resource on the planet.
Oh.
We create human beings. No one else. It's
Yeah,
we create
yeah,
miracles.
yeah. Oh
We're so
gosh.
friggin' magical. We're just incredible. And
Yeah.
and
Mm,
we have been so shut down from that. We've been so disconnected by a society that wants to run on a very
mhm,
masculine paradigm. And
mhm.
so we're like, okay, I'll be as masculine as I can. And
Yeah,
we let this brilliant goddess,
yeah,
queen energy it just dies.
yeah.
It gets dimmer and dimmer and dimmer until it's just an ember inside, but you can always
Mm.
stoke that ember into a flame again.
Woo!
You got to.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, it's so nourishing. It's so delicious. It's
Mm.
so life-giving. And it's a permission slip, It's really beautiful to see. Like when I see women like I had the privilege of watching you talk. What was that, 3 months ago now in Estonia on the Mind Valley stage? And there was a pull on the stage, and you're just embodied in your energy, and you're just like, "Ugh," like I give no fucks, and I'm just gonna. And I was like, yes. And it's like you were a permission slip for me and the hundreds of people that were there to go. That's power. That is power. You know?
You gotta give no fucks, man.
Yeah, you gotta give no
And when
fucks.
on the other side of giving no fucks, that's the chasm. Or that's the big gaping hole that women are scared to go over is they
Yeah.
give a fuck.
Yeah.
They give a fuck what everybody thinks. Oh, will my
Yeah.
husband like it? Will my boyfriend like it? Will my mother like it? Will my best
Right.
friend? You know what? Don't give a fuck.
Yeah.
Find your truth. Hunt
Yeah.
your truth. Allow your truth. And the truth that I have found, I've done so much work and so much deep diving. The one thing that resonated was S Factor and profound breath work, believe it or not.
Really?
Love breath work.
Let's go.
I love
I
breath
mean,
work.
they're so connected. Your work and my work are so connected.
Connected,
Yeah.
very connected. You're going back into the indigenous body. You're trusting the body knows,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know?
it's just so wild. Like I found breathwork 15 years ago before it was cool in Bali, and I was like, "What is this?" And it was when I was really struggling with, being a dancer, struggled with like body image stuff and body dysmorphia and relationship to food and everything. And breathwork taught me that I could heal my trauma without thinking about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
And that
yeah.
was revolutionary for me.
It's the best.
I'm like, "Oh, you know how to heal this trauma and I don't have to know why?" And so that's so much of what I teach now is like, we don't have to go back and investigate.
No, that's for
Just let your
publicists. You can go down back and do the story if you have to, but you know what? Your
Yes.
body doesn't need the story. Your
Oh,
body just needs
yes.
to release energy that has been
Yes.
clogging all of your
Yes.
joints and
Oh,
fascia and
oh my gosh.
musculature. It's
Oh
such
my
an
gosh.
incredible journey back. It's such an incredible journey back home. And when you add the feminine element and you add the erotic and the curve and the permission to just be deliciously, decadently beautiful and profoundly in pleasure,
Mm. Mm.
I don't care how stoic you are as a masculine being, you cannot resist the feminine in pure pleasure. You can
Mm. Mm.
it's just the most beautiful, powerful thing I've ever witnessed in my life.
Mm. I just got an image of you and I putting on this epic S Factor pause breathwork event in this like outdoor arena. Let's do that, okay? Oh, could you imagine the voltage in there?
No. Yes. Yes, it would be off the friggin' charts, girl. You can't even data
Oh
it.
my gosh, we're
This
doing it. We're doing
incredible.
it. We're doing it.
I love it. I love it. Let's talk about it. But in the meantime, you gotta get women, you gotta turn yourselves back on.
Mhm.
Period.
Resuscitate, baby. Resuscitate.
Breathe oxygen back. What's it called when you do the thing when someone mouth to mouth yourself, girl?
Mouth yourself. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
You and your hubby are so dope. You know, Eric and I were sitting next to each other at Mind Valley and watching you guys on stage in a panel, and your guy is just hilarious and super cool, and he's so fucking funny. Eric turns to me and he's like, "That guy's epic." He's hilarious.
I love him so much. We've been together 35 years,
That's
girl.
insanity.
35 years together, and we're like teenagers. You saw us.
I saw us. It's like young, beautiful, flirtatious, sexy love.
That's exactly what it is. Because of S factor, I do my feminine. He goes off and does his masculine. And then we come together, and the dance of I talked about A, B, C, and D men and women, right? But A, B, C, D men, when a man goes from being a toxic dominator, decides he's not going to be a castrated, compromised man, and decides he's going to grow up out of a B man, a boy man, and becomes an alpha, alter man, an awakened masculine. There's nothing more powerful on the planet than an S woman meeting up and hooking up with or calling her man up into a man status.
Yeah.
Wow. It's combustible.
Oh my God. It's absolutely insane. It's absolutely insane. And there's like this, what's interesting in my experience with my husband, it's like I found this erotic nature and I turned that on and I'm like, whoa, that's so life-giving and so energizing. And then there's another amplification and layer of it when he meets me and his. So it's like there's mine and then I'm like, wow, like it's so energy rich. It's so energy rich. And it has the capacity to like metabolize so much of the stuff that comes up. Right? It's like living in pleasure has the capacity to metabolize the trauma, the hurt parts, the wounded parts that occur in our relationships that we bump up against each other. But because there's so much resource, because of this, it metabolizes so fucking quickly. I'm shocked. Like we don't get caught.
No, you don't get caught. You don't get stuck in these places. Right?
Yeah.
Because these places are filled with just old ego, old damage, old boundaries, old trauma, old wounding. Yeah. And when you can get past that, I mean, it's really, I feel like you and I have a very similar experience in that we're on the other side of a lot of hard work.
Yeah.
And I think the people we're talking to, those of you, I don't know, maybe I'm wrong, but maybe you're kind of on the precipice of the hard work where when you heal, when you embolden, when you empower all of yourself, every muscle, every nerve ending, you become such an epic version of yourself. And when your partner's doing the same and you bring two epic A man, A women together, it without, all the triggering of each other, letting that shit go. It's like there's this incredible, extraordinary experience of life that I don't know if a lot of people get to.
I know. Heaven on earth, baby. We can create it right here.
Yes. Yeah. You can create that for yourself. Every single person that is listening to your podcast has the power to create heaven on earth within their own body. Yeah.
What an invitation, Sheila Kelley. What an invitation.
Yeah, you should come to my retreat in April.
Where is it?
Puerto Rico.
Oh, can you text me some details?
100 awakened women gyrating through the space, having the most incredible celebration. It's the S Factor's 25th year of being on this planet.
25 years. You go, girl. You go, girl.
I know.
That sounds amazing. I'm going to check that out.
Check it out.
I love me some Sheila Kelley. I love me some S Factor. I've also like taken classes with your students and like they're so good. Like I was in Austin a couple months ago and I took an S Factor class from this chick and she was so good.
Laura Victor?
I don't remember her name.
Okay. I think I know who it is and she's amazing.
Blonde girl? No.
Yeah.
I forget.
Well, it's like a light brown, like my hair color.
Yeah. Yeah.
think it's her. There's
Okay, wait, say her name again.
Laura Victor.
I totally forget her name. It was at a mastermind that I was at with some
What
women. It was
master?
just like, it might have been her. It's so great.
It was good, right?
And then the other woman that was in Maui with us with like the orange hair, she was also in your documentary.
April.
Oh my gosh, she's incredible.
Incredible.
Yeah.
There are some amazing S-Factor teachers all over the world now.
It's incredible. I love, we have the same business model, and it's just so incredible to be able to train our methods to people so they can go out there in the world and do this world and spread
And
the
mine's
message.
new. I used to just have the brick and mortar stuff. And then since COVID, everything's digital. Everything's online for me, except for the retreats. Is that what
Yeah.
your model is too?
We have a breathwork level 1 training, which is online, and then our level 2 is in person here in San Diego at a retreat center that we have about an hour from here.
Nice. Is that the same one that Bikram used to use?
No,
Oh,
this one's pretty new. It's called the Oaks.
oh,
Yeah.
grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful. What was this mastermind in Austin?
Jen Hootie. Do you know, does that name ring a bell? Jen Hootie,
Probably was
Neeta
it?
Bashan.
Oh, Nika. Oh, yes. Yeah. I love her. I love
She's
her.
amazing. Yeah, so she was there. There's like a bunch of them, and then yeah. It's so good, so good. Well, I'm so grateful that we got to sit down today. I'm so happy that you exist. I'm so happy that your work exists. I'm so grateful that you're liberating women around the world everywhere. Guys, for those of you listening, go get amongst Sheila's work, follow her. Like, you tell them, where can they find you? Where can they play with you?
Well, have you seen the documentary on Netflix?
Yeah. So, okay, this is what happened. You mentioned the documentary, and then Eric and I were in Estonia. No one fucking told us that the sun doesn't go down in Estonia. So we were just up all night, and it's like 10 p.m. And I'm like, babe, before Sheila's next talk tomorrow, can we watch her documentary to get like an idea of like, what she was talking about? Because you kind of did one talk one day and then you were doing another thing the next day. And so we stayed up and we watched it. So strip down, what's it called again? Strip Down, Rise Up. Guys, Strip Down, Rise Up on Netflix. Not Netflix? Yeah.
It's on Netflix. And then there's also a TEDx talk I did in 2012 that I really love, kind of sets the scene for why the feminine needs to resuscitate. And if you want to follow me on Instagram, it's Sheila Kelley S. And then there's S Factor Official. There's the website. Come visit me. Come to the retreat with me. There's all kinds of offerings, all kinds of teachers, and it's
So good.
accessible to everyone.
So
Yeah.
good. So good. We'll put all of those links below. We'll put a link to the documentary. We'll put a link to the TEDx talk and all of your socials, so it's nice and easy for people to find you. Thank you so much. You are amazing. I'm so happy that I know you.
You are so welcome. And right back at you, my love. Right back at you.
Okay. Thank you everyone for tuning in. We'll see you soon.